show. And we're grateful that you could, make it to the studios this morning. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
And quickly, let's begin by telling you what we have here on ABS website. And the first story we have this morning is Oka Shopping Mall project to be completed soon. Soludo happy with pace of infrastructural development. Anambra State government reassures of reforms to improve performance of Agune Chamber in line with rule of law. Anambra State government stakeholders lodged federal government on national social safety net program. More communities celebrate 2025 New Yam Festival tomorrow. Igwe Chidwen asks Nigerian government to support farmers to achieve food security. Nduka Foundation awards scholarships to primary school pupils. U.S. knocks Nigeria over 70,000 naira minimum wage. World Championships. Taiwanese Olympic champion boxer Lin Yu-ting to undergo compulsory gender testing. Wow. That is really, really interesting. And that's all we have for you on ABS website. Quickly, let's begin to pick one or two to talk about Mandy.
Yeah, let me go with the Omo community to celebrate their New Yam Festival and their request for the federal government to support farmers to ensure food security. One of the basic needs that we need is food in every home, in every family. So, and you find out that as it is now, it's as if that to get good quality food is like fetching for gold. So, the New Yam Festival, first of all, it is a cultural heritage which has been sustained in Igbo land for years. But the issue about food security is one of the problems that we have in this country. We know that Omo community is one of the communities that produce food in Anambra State. So the federal government should invest in farmers so that the food security will be ensured, and not just the food security, so that food can be affordable for people to buy.
All right, can we also talk about New Yam Festival, celebrations, yam being the king of crops and everything, yes. And this season being the season of New Yam Festival, because is it Agule? So they call their own alum or something. I think they did theirs last week or something. And I think Enugu is equally doing their own tomorrow. Yes. So let us actually look at it and the season we're in.
The season is a season whereby we celebrate not just the New Yam Festival. It's also an opportunity to showcase agricultural produce by the farmers. And most times some communities bring up some price tags to those with the highest large number of yams or produce. This is a way to encourage farmers.
Yesterday I had the announcements in the communities, around me that everybody should bring out his crops this morning to a square where they're going to showcase their. That's a good one. That's a good one.
The communities, the PG, the Igbo, they are trying in that aspect. Okay. But what we are asking for is the federal government and the state government to invest in agriculture. Once you invest in agriculture, you find out that food production in the state will be cheap.
All right. Let's move on to the first paper for review this morning, Daily Sun newspaper. On Daily Sun, we see PDP decides on FCT minister And we have riders there. We won't go into gutters with Wike, says Governor Makinde. Opposition parties chieftains meet in Lagos, insist on Monday neck. Right, the picture we are seeing in front of that paper says celebration as Governor Ba unveils reconstructed Hotel Presidential Enugu. Wow, wow, wow. Very, very popular hotel back in the days. In fact, I won't fail to go there anytime I go to Enugu to see what is happening. Now, FG pushing us to nationwide strike that's coming from ASU with a rider there. Rejects loan scheme, holds mass rally on campuses next week. AFC shuns policy outcry, opposition begins remuneration packages for office holders. And of course, other stories making the media headlines there. North battered by multiple tragedies of banditry, ACF cries out. At Lagos Roadshow, Bochi unveils economic investment potentials. Assault on NYSC girl, LP NAS caucus demands a prosecution. Edo government seals shrines, declares cult leaders wanted. All right, we take a look at the Daily Times before we comment. As to reject 150,000 naira monthly pension for retired lecturers may go on strike. That's the banner headline in front of the Daily Times newspaper. And of course, Nigeria set to achieve 2.5 million barrels daily by 2026. NUPRC speaking. Return home, Nigeria is rising again. Tinubu urges diaspora Nigerians. Illegal mine in Nigeria loses $9 billion annually to cartel enterprises FCTCP. FRSC commercial rewards personnel with 250,000 naira for rejecting bribe. Finance Ministry under fire for breaching budget disclosure law. FG repatriates 51 more foreign nationals jailed for cyber terrorism internet front. Our president calling on Nigerians outside the country to return home, that Nigeria is rising again. I think I'm more interested in that story to see how they are going to return, what has been put in place, you know, to welcome them when they eventually come back to the country. What the government plans to do for them and with them, of course.
Calling people to come back home is not a bad idea. But what are they coming home to see? Or what are they coming home to do? If you're calling them home, are you calling them home to come and invest in a country that is not secured? Are you calling them home to come and get attacked by bandits or herdsmen? Are you calling them home to come and see dilapidated hospitals, clinics, and the rest of them? Are you calling them home to come and see that the structure of our educational system is collapsing? Are you calling them home to come for partnership so that to ensure that there is equity?
He made his point clear. Nigeria is rising.
That's what I'm saying.
Them home because
where is it rising? Where is it rising into insecurity? There is no day in this country that you will not hear killings of at least 10 Nigerian persons, of 10 Nigerians rather. There is no way you can go home, a day will pass without hearing that a life was lost in a government hospital because of no equipment or nonchalant attitude of the health workers. So you're not giving them these assurances of coming home that all is well at home. All is not well at home. So there is no way for you to tell them that they have to come home, that Nigeria is rising.
Okay, let's believe that. Now, talking about the federal government repatriating 51 more, internet fraudsters. after last week, they repatriated, I think it was 50.
40 something.
Yeah, 40 something, and now we are seeing 51. But the question I'm asking here is, I hope these people won't find their way back into the country. If we have a way of picking them out, do we have a way of making sure that they don't come back into the country? Emandi, what's your take on that?
You know, when I see news like this, first of all, I go to our politicians first. You pick up people that are into fraud, internet fraud, or cyber crime, as the case may be. Now, forgetting that the biggest cyber crime that we have in this country are our politicians embezzling public fund. It's not a matter of picking them up and announcing it in the news. What are we going to hear about them at the end of the day? That is the issue. Would they be prosecuted? Would they be... Because I know that... And
I was equally wondering why you have not thought about whether the people are actually guilty. The real people that committed the crime.
That's the thing. Because I know that in some, like in Western countries, once they pick foreigners that are there, they imprison the person. So why trying to tell them to go back home to their country or such case? Why not prosecute them here? Is it that we are not? Is it that we are scared or what? So that's the case.
That's the question.
That's another one. That's another one. That's the thing. Because if you commit any offense abroad, you will suffer them. And then after suffering, they will now
you face this. But then, like Emandi noted, these are Chinese and Filipinos. You understand? Is it the China that you want to borrow money every now and then, that you now want to imprison their people? So the person is just send them back home. And I'm sure there's going to be a way these guys will find themselves.
Definitely.
I just know that we don't have that, will I say, consciousness to keep people that we want to keep out of this country to be out. During the elections, we all see it on social media where you see truck bringing in people from neighboring countries, charge to come and flood up the entire north. When the election finishes, everybody disperses. You understand? So that is the question. Our borders are very, very porous.
All right. Look at this story from ASU. ASU is saying that FG is pushing them to nationwide strike. Then again, they said the ASU rejects 150,000 naira monthly pension for retired lecturers. They may go on strike. Could that be the reason they said federal government is pushing them to go on nationwide strike?
Different organizations with their different problems and complaints in this country. But I know that one of the major reasons why all these things are coming up is because of our poor economy. If we have a good working economy, we find out that even the 150,000 naira will go a very long way. But we have poor economy. So the 150,000 naira doesn't even cover anything.
Didn't you notice that federal government now, all they do now is in billions? Haven't you noticed that?
That is what I'm saying. One of our problems in this country are our leaders. They are our problems. It's not that they don't have the solution to this problem or to make our economy working or to make the economy, to make the people have a good livelihood. But at the end of the day, you find out that they do this for their own personal interest. They don't care about the masses. They don't care about the citizens. And even at the end of the day, they decide to go on strike. You find out that they may even return back with little or no achievement from their purpose of going on strike.
Okay, we'll move on to the next paper.
The next paper for review this morning is the Punch newspaper with the banner headline screaming CDS 2027 polls behind surge in killings, with Ryder telling us a steady flow of foreign cash empowering terrorists. That's coming from Musa. And then we have Nigeria facing growing security risk from Sahel conflict, defense chief. At the masthead of the Punch newspaper this morning, PDP crisis, Wike camp rejects zoning talks with Makinde and Diri. Also, we have here, as a rider, PDP governors convene in Zamfara to resolve convention deadlock party crisis. UK leads Nigeria's first quarter capital inflow with 5.5 trillion naira, and UK recognizes Alaafin as Yoruba supreme ruler. Owade tells Oni. Interesting. EFCC NIS expel another 51 foreigners jailed for cyber fraud offenses. Okay, they've been jailed and now repatriated. That's interesting. External reserves climb to 44 months high of $41 billion.
Actually, they are the ones in front of the page.
Yeah. And then we have 3 US-based Nigerians jailed 8 years for $520,000 fraud. Oyo to pay $1 billion compensation on secular road projects. Quickly, let's see what we have for you on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper as we continue the review. Olu of Warri flags off Iwere Trust Fund with 750 million naira that you find on the mast of the Vanguard newspaper. And then we have foreign portfolio inflow drops 30.7% to 50.48 billion in July. Talking about naira there. Insecurity aggravating pains in North. That's coming from the Ariwa Consultative Forum. ASU threatens strike, rejects federal government's loan scheme. And then the banner headline is talking about climate change, how floods worsen Nigeria's healthcare woes, with a lot of riders there. Let's pick them one after the other. Havoc from floods, heat, unpredictable weather. Experts warn of deadly rise in diseases. And Nigeria on environmental cliffhanger. Why proactive and inclusive policies are imperative to check looming disaster. Still on health, Vanguard Health Outreach brings joy to newspaper vendors in Lagos. Tinubu departs Japan for Brazil. Process ongoing to name terrorism financiers in Nigeria. That is long overdue. And then we have 2027 fresh crisis loans in PDP over zoning formula. And then we still have the case of the pictures of the deportees haven't been, according to them, jailed for some time here in Nigeria. Quickly, let's see what's trending, interesting story that we have here. Now, coming from the CDS, telling us that 2027 pulls behind surge in killings. That is to tell you how, let's say, insensitive our leaders are.
The same CDS is talking about process ongoing to,
to
name terrorism financiers.
So these are, naming terrorist financiers, in my own opinion, will be the first step in curbing all these actions. And Emandi, this is coming to you. I remember the last administration put Nigerians through so many turmoil, economically, you understand, psychological and the rest of it all. They came with, what is it called, name verification, matching your SIM card to your account number so as to, track these terrorists when they pay ransom. They now told us about...
Up till today.
They now told us about going cashless so that there will be less cash in circulation and the rest of it all. And we are still having banditry, terrorism, ravaging every nook and cranny, and kidnapping, ravaging every nook and cranny of this country. In your own opinion, do you think that what the CDS is saying about the pools being responsible for this surge in killings and crime in Nigeria?
I don't believe with the CDS. Why should they be talking about 2027 pool, where we should be talking about the current situation
on ground
in 2025? And if they are mentioning about the 2027 polls, what happened before the 2015 election, during the time of Goodluck Jonathan, when there was when this insecurity started with the kidnap of Chibok girls, which we've not seen many of them till date. So you see, the insecurity in this country is not all about the election. It's just that our leaders has kept blind eye in that aspect. What they concentrate is oil produce, borrowing loan, and the rest of that. And for CDS to come out to mention that and also talk about naming the bandit financiers and the rest of them. What happened today to those that they claim to have arrested in the past?
Even the list released by the
administration.
that.
There was a time we heard that some bandits were arrested in the past administration, and at the end of the day they were given amnesty and they were called repentant bandits and the rest of them, and they were recruited to the Nigerian army and the rest of that. So you see, and at the end of the day, they found out that this insecurity keeps growing every day. And now they come out and tell us that it's 2027 because of 2027 polls. At the end of the day, if it's this, if it's as a result of 2027 polls, are the citizens, are they the ones that are supposed to bear it? How many of these politicians has been affected about this 2027 polls, if actually is a reason? So I believe that CDS don't know what they are saying. Is it that they don't want to tell us the truth, or they're trying to cover up our politicians that are responsible for this insecurity that we have in this country?
Now, we saw here that your president has jetted out from Tokyo, Japan, where he was there welcoming Nigerians, I mean, in diaspora to come home.
Did you say did I hear your president?
Okay. our president. So, as the case may be. Now he has gone to Brazil. The question is, like the opposition will come up to say, a president that spends more time abroad, you understand, how then can he mirror down all these his trips to the development and the sanity that he witnesses in those places? How can he replicate it in this part of the world? In this part of the world, as in his own country?
In his own country.
Because Nigeria is saddled with a whole lot of responsibility. And a father wouldn't be junketing from one you understand? From one house to the other, whereas your own house is in disarray. Have Nigerians actually seen the benefit, the dividend of most of Mr. President's travel?
You know, it's not. The first question is not about if he travels and then comes home with ideas and brings them into this country. It would have been a different ball game. But at the end of the day, we found out that this traveling is just for his own personal frivolities. For his own personal frivolities or what have you. He will travel from one country to the other. And meanwhile, I think early this year when we had issues of insecurity in some places in Kogi and some areas, he couldn't go to these places to compensate, to commiserate with the loss of lives that took place, the insecurity that happened in that state. At a point, he said that he couldn't drive to a particular community by road. Why? A president for that matter. But you have all the time to fly from one country to the other, or to fly to Lagos to celebrate. But when there is a case of insecurity, loss of lives, loss of properties, you won't go to this particular community to cry with the parents of those that lost their children, or to cry with the community, or to show compassion. That shows that our leaders today they don't have compassion for the people. So whenever saying, we know that all these traveling is just for frivolities.
All right, let's quickly move for want of time. The Guardian and the Daily Trust together, we take them. First, The Guardian, Alaafin versus Oni, old warpath for new entrants. Okay. Okay, there's a story here. I think that could be an editorial. Harder, faster, how quest for sexual validation boosts manpower, business, organ damage. well, this is a warning to people. Oh. Despite morning deaths, NMPCL declares 185 billion naira profit, pays FAC 7.9 trillion naira. We can also see other stories making their headlines on Guardian. Rifts deepen in PDP over Lagos gathering ahead of Ibadan convention. Catholic bishops threaten to dismiss politically inclined clerics. Ebonyi landslide kills 2 as state government seals mining site. Wait. Nigeria's forex reserves hit $41 billion, highest in 44 months, says CBN. All right, quickly we see the Daily Trust newspaper. Katsina Mosque attack search continues as over 50 bodies recovered. Renewed hostilities disturbing. That's coming from Chief of Defense Staff again. He has talked too much this morning. And I will say 2027 micro-zoning battle splits southern PDP leaders. Despite meeting OPEC quota, price drop threatens Nigeria's capital project. Government deport 102 Chinese, okay, we've seen 102 Chinese nationals. Others, we saw 50 something in the other papers.
Now we are seeing one of
the figures are really conflicting. Please report us, let us know which is which. Amid criticisms, RMAFC begins public officers' pay review. Man allegedly flogs son to death. Oh. FCT community residents vacate homes over erosion. FCT kwa. Okay, Nigeria's forex reserves. Okay, we've seen that before. All right, let's quickly run. 50 more bodies recovered from Katsina Mosque attack, and search is still ongoing. And one wonders how many.
Okay,
how much lives have actually
let's see what we
lost.
have on the Tribune, and then the blueprint. Then we'll now summarize and wrap up everything. Quickly, the Nigerian Tribune is up next for review, and here this is to every Nigerian, as said by the Chief of Defense Staff. Every Nigerian should learn combat skills for defense, for self-defense. Nigeria's FX reserves hit $41 billion, highest since 2021. PDP crisis, Makinde talks tough. When people go low or go into the gutters, I don't go with them. He says that the rider there, other riders are saying, expresses readiness to reach out to the aggrieved. As Southern leaders kick disown Lagos zoning meeting, our party not dead will offer better options in 2027, says Governor Diri. Others. NEC meet on Monday to adopt zoning committee. Why I won't be in supremacy battle with any Oba. That's coming from the Alaafin. Woman mistaken for kidnapper in Kwara killed in jungle justice. Oyo government approves 1 billion compensation for secular road project, disburses 600 million. We will get our local government back, Adeleke. Well, now on health, we have vegetarian diet can slash cancer rates by up to 45%, study finds. Quickly, let's see what we have on the blueprint. We've seen the story of the Nigerian Forex. We have Katsina villagers pay 15 million ransom, seek dialogue with bandits.
All right, our time is really fast spent, and that's the much you can take on the press review this morning, because producers are already on, warning that we should wrap up. Well, thank you so much, Mandy, for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's it on the press review. Do sit back because we have more coming up on Good Morning Anambra Show.